Hello, everyone, and welcome back to what is now Smart Marketing. And since last year, since I haven't been recording, I've changed the name from Dark Marketing to Smart Marketing and wanted to move away from that, hacker-like annotation or meaning. And the website is no longer Dark Marketing, but it is smartmarketing.biz. So, that being said, where have I been? And that's what this video is about. A brief explainer why I've been gone so long this past year. And the main reason was my mother passed away. And for the better part of the last 10 years, I had been looking after my parents. My dad passed away a little over 3 years ago. And then, unfortunately, my mom last year. But she had a lot of health problems and, things happen, unfortunately. And I didn't expect that I was going to be moving so quickly because, time to sell the house. I was the only one living there of my siblings, and I would be available, to show the house or do those kinds of, things when you're trying to take care of the parents' estate. And, finding the right location to move my business was the real concern, and I couldn't just interrupt things. But fortunately, something came up unexpectedly soon. And so I decided to make the move, and my siblings stepped in to basically take care of most of the things. I helped with a lot of cleanup in the beginning, but so I could focus on getting my new place together. And I had to really make it my own. And as you can see, I got a phenomenal office here. And so for those who thought maybe I went out of business, nothing could be further from the truth. And in fact, business is booming. And here I've expanded the operation. I've added like 10 new computers. I'm up to 28. And I'll show a shot of that so you can see the whole office. And you can see I got 4 units down here. 2 laptops, big screen, 24-inch. Got 2 laptops out here, and I got a 4 stack of boxes behind this table. Of course, you see the smart TVs up on top, all the way around. This desk has 8 minis, okay? 2 4 stacks that's all share the monitor. This side of the office, well, here I keep a flexible desk. And either the printer's up there or I swap it out with a laptop, depends what I'm doing, like today. Down here, I've got 3 4 blocks. That's a dozen computers. And then 2 pair of laptops. These laptops have monitor issues. They're really super spec, so I keep them plugged into 24-inch. And with all the new systems, I've also, as you see, stepped up. I've got a couple of new laptops. I had a few on their way out anyway, and just really tried to make this operation the dream operation for me. Because sometimes when I'm working and I do a lot of diverse things, I get very anal. Sometimes I want to work standing up. Sometimes I want to work sitting down. And I didn't always have, really the great access all the way around I wanted here. So I made some really cool modifications, adding additional monitor and some things that really let me pipe content from multiple systems to multiple locations. And all of my automation systems work in convenient sets of 4. Each one shares a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse. And so I generally do things in 4. Whatever type of software I'm running, I'm usually doing 4. And I'll do 4 setups at a time. And it's just been kind of getting the place together. And I really had expected to be back a lot sooner. At the latest, just at the turn of the year. And then, unfortunately, I got pneumonia. I wound up in the hospital and discovered that I was having blockage in one of my valves in my heart. So, of course, that was a bit of a stressful time because my doctors were making it sound like, oh, you can have a heart attack any second. And I just, said to myself, that just doesn't make sense. I'm really in good shape for my age, and I didn't have a single symptom. But in any case, I had a little over 2 months to really step up my lifestyle changes, to exercise more and tighten down my diet a bit more, which has always been a very healthy diet. Love to cook and cook healthy but delicious meals. A lot of, those home ethnic type meals. And in any case, I managed to reduce the blockage without needing any surgery or stint or anything like that. I've been doing great ever since. Got a little blood pressure, had to take a few pills, but all is well. And the rest was just sort of trying to get everything right here. And I had a lot of problems that I didn't realize until recently was just one of the monitors I was using. When I'm doing these recordings, I'm on a very powerful system, high-end video card, the video, the whole 9 yards. But I piped the video just above me here onto a 32-inch smart TV. What I didn't realize is that both the picture and the sound were terrible. And I thought it was the systems in here and the setup, and I had to use noise filters because there's some traffic here when I'm recording in the afternoons, and to be able to filter that all out seamlessly. But once I actually put a new system up in the last week or so, complete game changer. I see the quality of the video is fantastic because I did everything. I bought a better microphone, better camera, really decked the whole place out and set myself up so I can record from different angles. I don't always want to be standing up like I'm doing right now. I'd like to be able to, sit down and be able to work from wherever I, feel and get a good angle with the camera. And of course, another reason I'm excited to be back is because I have so much stuff to cover. There's so many new things to talk about, as well as reiterate and go over and give updated videos on things that we've already covered on this channel. And certainly, while I have tried to be thorough with a lot of my videos, you can't fit it all into one. And it seems that there's always things to re-record those videos and recover in certain details, and a lot of that stuff comes out of the community. So the first thing we'll be starting off with is a Scrapebox video, because I want to address some of the issues with the new Scrapebox, the beta that they're running inside of it for scraping. Not happy with it, but we'll talk about that in the video. And because we got a lot of guys right now that are doing their own scrapings for using GSA website contact, which, speaking of, now on smartmarketing.biz is available. I now have the list for GSA website contact again. And I've been posting 1.2 million roughly in the month, but I'm continuing to post additional 100K increments because I'm, creating a lot of quantities in my list, and lists degrade rapidly. So I feel it's better to really keep a strong flow going and put extra lists and make them available, because not everybody can even utilize all of that, and gives you more lists to sort of mix up and mix around so that not everybody is burning on the same list too all the time. Allows me to put different versions of lists up, and it just works out better for everyone because I got a lot of systems and a lot of licensing, and I'm doing a lot of scraping, which, speaking of scraping, we're going to talk about GSA's new product, Scrape Genie. And of course, there's SEO Neo, which is a pricey but really nice product, and there's going to be a few videos on that for sure. Money Robot has a new SaaS version, so we'll be covering that and the differences versus the software version, which is no longer available, but I did speak to the developers about it. And for those of us that have Money Robot licenses, especially multiple ones, they're going to just continue to support and continue on with that software. And we'll talk about, the changes, the pros and cons and all of that when we cross that bridge. And what else? What else are we going to cover? Well, got a lot of new SEO stuff to talk about as far as AI goes, and AI is dominating my life, both in my clients and, with the search results. And we're going to really get into some cool stuff in there. And I know a lot of people are worried. They feel like, with all these AI platforms, that the amount of resources for search are going to diversify. Believe me, that's a good thing, and we're going to talk about that and why later on. Also, guys, I'm going to have some great SEO content, how it relates to AI, some real-world tracking scenarios, and because, I know a lot of guys are nervous about that AI, all of these platforms, and people starting to use them for search, diversifies the field from Google and Bing, and I think those are really the top two right now that most marketers and people, with websites who are trying to gain search engine presence. That's what they're fighting for. But let me tell you something. It's good news. Diversification is good, and I'm going to go over a lot of that. Got some really good topics I want to discuss in Power Talks. Doing business in the new world under the new political environment. And, it's not a political video. I may seem one-sided or another. I'm not a fan of Trump. I never was. I'm from Jersey. But that's neither here nor there. Everything that goes on in the world, they're not things that I can personally influence. I'm not a political activist by any means. So what I do is I look at what's going on and I try to make the most of every situation. Just like guys who do the stock market. You play the stock market for a living. Good or bad, you try to make money no matter what the environment is and whatever the current circumstances. So we're going to kind of talk about that because I think that's very important and will be increasingly more important, at least while the current administration is in office. So that being said, I'm really looking forward to doing some great stuff with you guys. Get the next video up, Scrapebox, watch for it. That's it for now, guys. Watch for the next video. Should have it out in a day or two, and then I'm going to be just dropping them like crazy. Come by, join the Discord group, and don't forget, we now have the list available again at smartmarketing.biz. I got a link in the description. That's it. Talk to you soon. This is Big Dom signing off.